What's up, everybody? David, Pro Do Flippers here. Today I just want to talk to you about the outlook for reselling for 2022 and why it's likely that a lot of people are going to make less money in 2022 versus 2021 whether it comes to reselling and selling on eBay. So I'm David. If you haven't seen me before, I am David, Pro Do Flippers. My wife and I are both full-time sellers on eBay. She's been full-time for about 1.5 years now, and I've been full-time for about 3 years now. And I've been selling off and on, mostly part-time before that for about 20 years or so, a little over 20 years probably. But today I just want to talk to you about what I think is gonna happen in 2022, or what could happen, what is likely to happen, what you might see with your business for selling on eBay. So far in January, comparing to last year, I have done slightly better. I would say I did a little over 19,000 in sales on eBay for January, compared to a little over 17,000 last year. So that may sound great, but I don't know that it's as great as I would like it to be, or that maybe it should be, based on my number of listings. So this time last year I had about 1,600 listings or so, and now I have about 2,600 listings. So I have 1,000 more listings than last year, but only seeing 2,000 extra in sales, which doesn't really add out. And there are some reasons that I will talk about towards the end of this video for why we're not seeing as big of an increase in sales compared to our increase in our active listings on eBay. So, but I'm just going to go through and start talking about 6 different things or so about why it's likely that you're going to make less money in 2022. And then at the end, I'll kind of talk about maybe what you could do to prevent that. So first and foremost, I will start with comparing this year to last year. So this time last year, people were still getting economic stimuluses, and they were having that extra money to spend. And so that was one of the reasons that sales may be looking higher last year compared to this year. This year, there are likely going to be no more economic stimuluses, no more checks being sent out to people. So they won't be having that extra money that they can spend. And that kind of leads into number 2, which I think that is just the economy in general right now compared to last year is everything's getting more expensive, right? We're seeing a lot of inflation, so everything's getting more expensive. The stock market's having trouble. I think that what this is going to lead to is just maybe a tightening of people's finances, and so maybe they will be spending a little bit less money. So that may affect you in a positive way if you're selling more necessity type of items. So maybe they'll be looking to save some money and going online, seeing if they could get some deals over paying full retail at stores. If you're selling a lot of collectible stuff or hobby stuff, or just wants that people want to have, then you might see slower sales going forward if the economy continues the way it is, if things are more expensive and people are spending less money. So and I could say that number 2 could possibly lead into number 3. If people are feeling like their finances are tighter, then they might be looking to do something more to earn some extra money. So, and one of those things, one of those great side hustles that there are out there that is becoming more and more common for people is selling maybe items around the house, or also selling items, flipping items, to like we all do, to make a profit. So I don't think that the new rules where they're sending out a 1099 if you're making 600 is really going to prevent people from doing it. I think people will still do it. I think eBay and reselling in general is going to continue to grow as far as the number of sellers. So there's going to continue to be more competition. And so what that will mean for you is that, and for me, is that you're going to have to find ways to stand out. So maybe you're going to have to start promoting your listings more. Maybe you're going to be sending out offers or accepting more offers more, and selling things for a little bit lower price than you might have in the past. So that basically means is that your cost of selling, your fees are going to be higher, and your sale price might be a little bit lower if you're accepting offers or sending out offers. So that's number 3. Number 4 is the same thing that happens every single year, is that the cost of shipping is going up. So that's no surprise there. We've already seen our increases with postal rates in January. So a couple of weeks ago, they've already raised the rates. they were inflated for fourth quarter, right? And then right at Christmas they dropped them and dropped the rates back down. For example, the padded flat rate mailer that maybe a lot of you use was $7.49. It dropped down to $7.49 right after Christmas, and now 3 weeks later or so they raised up the price to $8.20. So that's just something you can expect. It's not going to stop. Every year the prices that's going to go up. So you're going to have to continue to cut costs other ways, or find ways to sell higher price items, or do what you can do to keep that profit coming in. So that's number 4, the raising cost of shipping. And then right along with that, like I've talked about, I already mentioned, is that the cost of pretty much everything is going up right now. So, and that is definitely including in supplies. Luckily, supplies really aren't, if you're buying them in bulk, I mean, they really aren't a huge cost compared to the amount of money that you would have coming in if you're doing this on a regular basis. But, I bought a box of tape. I usually buy my packaging tape at 36 rolls at a time, like a case at a time. And I just noticed that it's, like that case of tape was $10 more than the last time I bought it, which was about 6 months ago. And that's just the kind of thing that you're going to be seeing, is that the cost of tape or bubble wrap or packing peanuts, boxes, etc., bubble envelopes, poly mailers, all that stuff's going to kind of keep rising, because all those companies are having rising costs themselves. So you can expect that to keep going up. And then that brings us to number 6, which is the cost of buying your inventory, right? So as the cost of everything goes up, so is the prices at the thrift stores. Wherever you source, you're probably going to likely see that prices are going up. As mentioned in the third number here, that we had more competition. More competition is going to drive prices up too, probably. So you can expect that your cost of doing business in almost every aspect in 2022 is going to be higher. And whether or not we're going to see an increase in people shopping online, I guess we'll see. Hopefully that continues. I mean, I think that's projected to continue for the next few years or so, that more and more people will shop online. And hopefully that's the case. I think that this past fourth quarter was the first time that they saw like a little bit of transition back to people buying in stores, and that could just be because of less restrictions for COVID or whatever. So people are getting out and about more, so they're going back to buying in stores. But I think obviously online shopping is here to stay. It's too convenient, and in many cases you get better prices. So that's going to continue to go. So that let me just recap the reasons here about why I think you might make less money this year. I just don't think there's no stimulus impact, this year compared to last year. So less people are going to have that extra cash to be spending on items. The economy is kind of tightening up. Everything's getting more expensive. And so people are going to be tightening their budgets a little bit. So maybe they'll be spending less money there. It could increase the competition that sellers have, because more people are looking for ways to make extra money or to sell things to have some extra money come in so they can pay their expenses, which could lead to a higher cost of fees for eBay if you are promoting your listings that you weren't when you weren't promoting before, or if you're sending offers when you weren't before, or accepting offers that you wouldn't have before. And then just the general rise of cost of everything, right? So the cost of shipping is going up. The cost of supplies are getting more expensive all the time. And the cost that you're going to be buying inventory for because of competition, and also because of just a general rise in prices, you're going to be paying more at the thrift stores and things like that. So expect all that to happen. So not to be like all gloom and doom, but so what can you do? So I'm not going to make less in 2022 than I did in 2021. I will make more. And the number one way you could do that is just to continue to grow. And if you're a seller on eBay or any other platform, you should probably never just stay the same size. If you do that, you will just, odds are you're going to make less money year over year, because the rising cost of everything is going to continue to go up. And unless you're sourcing higher priced items, or finding ways to just source them cheaper, odds are if you're not growing your store or your inventory, that you're probably going to be making less money. So we grew, like I said, from 1,600 listings to 2,600 listings in 2021. And it led to an increase of about, I think we went from 173,000 in sales for 2020 to, I believe, 208,000 in sales for 2021 on just eBay. So we are hoping to go from 208 to this year, hopefully hitting 240,000 in sales. And so there will be some different things that we do to do that. Mostly we're just going to be focused on our listing and cranking out listings. We are thinking about hiring somebody else to help us, but I'm not sure about that yet. We still think we can grow some more just by being focused with our listing. For example, yesterday, I went out to the thrift stores in the morning. My wife went out and had a couple of appointments. Neither of us got home and started working on actual listings until after lunch, and we still managed to crank out 38 listings. So I know that we are capable of cranking out a lot of listings. We probably could do 60 a day, maybe even more if we really streamline our processes and stayed focused and eliminated distractions. But anyway, the point is, if you want, the biggest thing you can do to prevent a decline in sales or decline in income is to grow your listings. So as much as you can. And I would just continue to do that until you can no longer do it. And I think like we're almost to the point where we can't do that anymore without hiring someone else. And I never thought I would want to hire somebody else, but it's really got us seriously thinking about it. So, and I will say this point, when you're going to grow your listings, be careful about how you grow your listings. One of the reasons that I mentioned earlier, that one of the reasons that we grew our listings by a lot, but our sales didn't really grow as fast at the same speed, and that had to do with a couple things. One, eBay did away with the 1,000 free listings and increased it to 10,000. So now I find myself listing things more. I'm less picky about what I list because it's not costing me anything. And I source at auctions a lot, and I end up buying things in lots, usually for 1 or 2 items. But then I get this other pile of stuff that comes along with it that I wasn't really looking to buy, that is still worth something. And I feel like, why not list it? It's basically free because it's not what I purchased that lot for. And so I've ended up listing a lot of that stuff. And I think that's a big part of our 1,000 increase in listings this year, is items like that really aren't that great, or really are low price items that aren't going to bring in a lot of money. And so I think that is a big reason why we didn't see that big increase. This year, I think the plans now, it could change at any point, is going to be to go back from auctions back to thrift stores, so that every single item I buy is purchased with the intent of selling and at a much higher price. So anyway, that's it. So it's not all gloom and doom. You do have it within your control to make more this year. You just really need to get out there and list and grow your stores. But be aware that all these things are going to be working against you: the rising costs, competition, the economy, etc. So if you have anything else you want to add to this list about as far as what could make it more difficult for us, or what you could do to help, please leave in the comments. I read all your comments. If you guys have any questions, I will respond to them all. Please like this video, subscribe if you want to. Always looking to up my subscribers. It motivates me to keep putting out videos. So anyway, hope you guys are out there killing it and going to make a ton of money in 2022, but just keep in mind that you got to keep growing. So thanks, guys.